Right, here's in the hope this one's better. So yeah, again, I've got the HDJuiceboxes. Now, I have just checked to make sure they work. So what I'm going to do today is, I've got my home cinema projection screen. It's just a BenQ projector, but it's a 100-inch screen. So the reason I'm using this is so you can see that it is HD. I've seen some forums and things saying that yeah, it's not and things like that, but obviously that's not true. So we've got these boxes again. Now, one thing I will also say is, because these are so close together, is I'm not going that far either. But what I am doing is I'm going through an extension cable, a fairly long one, to that wall point there. And then at the other side, I have lots and lots of extension cables. Yeah. My boss would shout at me if he saw that, but never mind. So as you can see, hopefully I'll have the typical interference and anything else you would get from your house. Now, distance, to be honest, hasn't normally been a problem for this anyway. So I don't think that that's really the matter. At the end of the day, if Powerline works on your lines absolutely fine, and the chances are this will. Now, I'm using FreeSat HDBox. I don't have Sky, poor me. So this is what I've got to work with. So if you can see that, it seems a bit dark. I'm just plugging those cables in. Hopefully that's the right way around. And what should happen when I turn this on? Here we go. So let's look through this. So let's see if we can get. Alright, so this is what you should get first of all. If you ring them up, they'll say it'll take 10 minutes or so to set up. I found it's more like 2 minutes. But we'll soon see. So that's connecting. Obviously it's not going to find a receiver to connect to, because it's not plugged in yet. Now, I'm on a HD channel, and obviously it's a bad camera, but you can see that's good quality, but you'd expect so. It's only a loop through, so it's coming straight back out and going to your local TV. Now, the bit that everyone wants is the remote display. Okay, so again, all I'm plugging in is a power into a random wall socket, and then my projector, just to see I'm not doing any funny business. That just goes straight up, and then round onto there. So plug that in to the output. That's in, and then just put it there so you can see it. Turn that on. So, as you can see, it won't get connected straight away. So here we go. Now this is what you'll see. Oh, you missed it, but it said initializing, and it's just waiting for the TX to be ready. The good thing about this is once it's plugged in and on, and you put it standby and take it off standby or whatever, you won't have to do this. This is only the first time of plugging it in, so it knows where its transmitter is. And here we go. So, missed that, but it said, find the remote control, here we go. It said, info, it's down there. Now obviously it's only I, because that's all that the FreeSat box runs at, 1080i. But even though this is a terrible camera, you can see that it's not standard definition. It is high definition quality, even though there's a terrible program on. So yeah, so that's the basics, ins and outs of it, to be honest. It's as simple as that. Plug one in somewhere, plug another in somewhere else, and it'll transmit. Obviously, one of the things that they do say is avoid things like this extension cord. Now, that's just because you're creating extra length, and you're also creating extra resistance. So especially if you've got bandwidth issues, not everyone will get bandwidth issues, but some people will, especially if you're trying to do 3 or 4 remote receivers. And then they're the kind of things that you can do to help it out. There's also another thing that's very helpful, which I think I put on the last video anyway, but I'll do it again. Oh, what you'll see is this has changed, because there's new firmware. And then network bandwidth here, this is the first stop if you are having issues. So if you press that, then these are the options. Now it will auto detect. So mine's gone fair there. If I go low, let's try that. Obviously that knows it's a video quality change. And that's low. Now, I can tell the difference now. I'd say you're getting closer to standard definition, but it's still HD, it's just encoded differently. So, let's just try and get... Let's see what excellent will do, see if it will even connect. The good thing is, like I say, distance generally isn't the issue. It's the it's just your lines in general. Now, what you'll have noticed as well is this TV hasn't budged, so you're not interfering with the person that's watching it in your living room by messing about with this off and on. So yeah, now hopefully that's a better reference than the last one was. Obviously if you want more then I can try, but I've got limited resources here. I'm just trying to put it on. I'm just trying to point with one hand and do another one, so good next. But as you can see, it's the same thing every time anyway. It'll just change the quality and you'll get a better but this is definitely high def quality. It's hard to see on my terrible camera. See it better on here. Oh yeah, that's not going to help, is it? It's my shed. But yeah, so there you have it. Oh yeah, this is something, obviously, the delay. That's what you'll be looking at, and that you will be looking at that in any remote room. It's not just the fact that I'm doing something specific. You will have a delay. Now that's something that is unavoidable. It is something that makes using consoles across it for playing games anyway pretty much impossible. But you can still use them as media centers and things like that. Well, great. So I hope you enjoyed.